Hi, for today's video, I'm just going to do a casual sewing project. I did some shopping about a week and a half ago and I went to a sewing store. They mostly sell sewing machines, but they did have a bit of stock of fabric kind of in the back, and they are actually getting rid of their fabric stock. So they had everything at 65% off, and I was able to find a couple of really cute prints. It's all quilting cotton, and I'm not a quilter, so I wasn't actually looking for fabric to do quilting, but they had a couple of really cute fruit prints. So I got this pink cherry print and then this little strawberry print as well. So I really just bought them because they were cute and they were cheap. I think I bought a yard of each fabric and it was like $5 each, so not too bad. So yeah, I didn't really have a project in mind when I bought it. And when I got home, I did some searching online to try to find patterns that used a yard or less of fabric. And there wasn't a whole lot in terms of clothing. A lot of it was more like bags and other accessories. And I still might not have enough fabric for this, so we'll see how it goes. I did find this camisole pattern. It is called the Crystal Cove Cami by Itch to Stitch. And I downloaded it from a website called The Fold Line, which I had never heard of before. I think they do all kind of indie pattern designers. Check it out, I guess, if you're looking for independent patterns. So the pattern is really cute. It's got kind of an overlapping curved hem in the back, so it's a little bit different. I took my measurements before I printed out the pattern, and I think I'm gonna have to blend about 3 different pattern sizes because my bust, waist, and hip measurements were all different sizes according to what was written on the pattern. And I think I'm probably gonna have to make it longer as well, but that might depend on how much fabric I actually have to work with. So at this point, I am going to tape all of my pages together, cut out the pattern pieces, and then lay it out on the fabric to kind of see what I have to work with. Because I might not have enough of the fabric, I might have to do the facing in a different fabric, which doesn't really matter because you're not going to see it. The only thing is it has to be something light. I'm going to use the strawberry print for this, so it is a white background, so anything darker would show through. I'll have to see about the straps for the cami because on the pattern it says that you're supposed to cut it on the bias, but because I'm not going to have a ton of this fabric, I might not be able to do that. I was searching through my ribbons and I found this green color. It's not an exact match, but it's pretty close to the lighter green in the fabric, so I think I can get away with that as long as I have enough length. That might be the issue because I just have this one piece. I'm kind of playing this by ear, as I do with all of my projects. I am actually not gonna work on this in this room. Okay, so this is a bit of a side tangent, but if you're not familiar with me, hi, I'm Janelle. I run a cross-stitch design company. It's called Wistful Bird Cross Stitch. I'll have a link in the description if you want to check out my patterns. I do both PDF patterns and kits. Anyway, I bought a canopy to do markets this summer. I've been doing markets for I don't even know how many years now, at least 5, and I've never invested in my own canopy. So I finally got one, but it's sitting on the floor in here, kind of taking up space, so I don't have a lot of space in this room right now to cut out fabric and that kind of thing. So I'm gonna move to the living room and I'm gonna go full Rachel Maxey floor troll to do all of my piecing together and taping and cutting. So let's go in the other room and get started on this project. Okay, I've got everything taped together. So now I have to blend the sizes together. The bust and waist measurement are only one size apart, so that shouldn't be too bad. But I think it was a difference of 2 sizes between the waist and the hip measurement. So that's gonna have to, ooh, cat. I'm gonna have to get a little more creative with that. All right, so I'm gonna draw on this, and then I actually have to lengthen it as well. I wanna make it a couple of inches longer, and there's like a lengthen or shorten line here where you can cut and either, if you wanna make it shorter, like fold it over or add in some length as well. So I'm gonna do 2 inches and hopefully that will be long enough. All right, so I got all of my pattern pieces adjusted. I drew a line kind of connecting the different sizes, and then I went ahead and I added a strip down the middle of the front and back pieces to lengthen them by 2 inches. So these are all cut out. I just need to cut out my fabric. I'm gonna be lazy / take a risk. I'm not gonna pre-wash. I know you're supposed to. Please don't harass me in the comments. Crossing my fingers that this does not come back and bite me in the butt. But I hang dry everything anyways. I'm thinking as long as I don't wash it in super hot water, it should be fine. Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with anyway. Okay, so again, I only have 1 yard of fabric. That is all I got. So I'm gonna place my pattern pieces and hopefully I can fit everything on. I did cut out the strap piece. If I have enough room, I will make these out of fabric, but it does need to be cut on the bias. I might not have enough space. And then I have the 2 facing pieces as well. So again, I'll cut them out of this fabric if there's space. If not, I'll have to find a different fabric. But I don't know if I actually have anything right now that will work properly. Okay, well, let's give this a go and see how it turns out. So I messed up. I didn't flip my pattern for the second back piece. So I now have 2 back pieces that are exactly the same, and I need one of them to be a mirror image. And I do not have enough fabric to cut out another piece. I'm kind of screwed. Except I think I can fix it. because the back pieces are overlapping, one of them is gonna be underneath the other anyway. So I'm thinking if I take the piece that I messed up and I just stitch it to kind of, I have a piece that's like got a bit of width to it, and it might be enough to attach to the piece that I messed up and then flip it and recut it out. So there's going to be a seam down the middle of it, but because it's mostly going to be covered anyways, I don't think anybody's going to notice. So hopefully that works. I'm going to try that out, and if not, I'm going to have to come up with another solution. So we'll see how this goes. That was a dumb move. So this is janky as heck. I have 3 pieces stitched together. My seams are definitely not square, and I certainly didn't pattern match. But I'm really hoping that this will be mostly covered, so yeah, fingers crossed that this works out. Okay, so I just did a test try on. I've got the darts done in the front piece, and I've got the 2 back pieces attached. So I also did a little test to see if I would have enough ribbon to do both of the straps, and I think I have just enough, so I'm gonna go with that because I definitely don't have enough to do the 2 straps cut from the bias of the fabric that I have left. I'd have to really piece it together and it would look weird, so I'm just gonna do the ribbon. So when I tried it on, it looked like it should work okay. The back piece folded over enough of the other side that you didn't really see too much of the seam. There's like a little bit kind of poking out at the bottom, but I don't think it'll be a big deal. I don't think it's really going to be noticeable, and honestly I don't really care that much. So at this point what am I gonna do? I have to check the instructions, but basically I need to trim down my seam allowance and do a zigzag over those, do the hem. I still need to cut out the facing pieces, but I don't know what I'm gonna cut them out of yet. So that is to be determined. And then attach the straps, attach the facing once I have that, give it one last iron, then I think it's done. Yeah, I think that's it. So the fit in the top part is pretty good. There's a bit of room at the armpit, but because this fabric doesn't have any stretch in it, I don't really want it to be any smaller because I still want some range of movement. The only issue that I'm really seeing at this point is that the sides at the bottom are flaring out way too much. So I think I'm actually going to cut it down to about the pattern size that I used for the waist, just so that it doesn't have so much of an angle going out at the sides, which means I'm gonna have to redo the side seams and then the hem at that part as well, but that shouldn't take too long. I always think projects are going to take me less time than they actually do. That being said, today's day 2. I had kind of hoped that I would get this all finished in one day, but that didn't happen. And honestly, it's my own fault. If I had not screwed up the pattern piece and run out of fabric, I think this would have gone a lot faster, so totally on me. And disclaimer, I'm just a hobby sewist. I'm not a professional by any means, so mistakes are bound to happen. Anyway, I have gone ahead and cut out my facing. I had to kind of cobble this together. It is 6 separate pieces, actually. That was the only way I could actually get it to fit on the scraps of fabric that I had left. So I've cut that out. I've got it all stitched together. I did a zigzag around the bottom. So now I just need to attach my facing to the top of the camisole, and then it's pretty much done. I'll do a final press, and then I think I'm actually going to tack down the back a little bit, just because, I don't know, with the way it's hanging, it's wanting to kind of pull open, and then it's like sitting weird at the hip, and it just, I don't know, the shape is kind of weird. So I'm gonna tack this down, and hopefully that'll have everything sitting where it's supposed to be. Just might be a little bit more difficult to wiggle into, but I'll see how that goes. I guess I could always put in like a button or a snap or something if tacking it doesn't work. I'll start off trying to tack it, and then I can adjust if I need to. So I'm gonna get this finished. This should, fingers crossed, go fairly quickly, and then I can get this done today. All right, so she's all done. This is what it looks like. Cute little flappy thing in the back. I did try to tack it at the back, like here-ish, but it did this weird gaping thing, so I just took it out. It does have the tendency to kind of want to open up, and then like the sides stick out kind of weird. I don't know if that's just because the fabric is too stiff. Like I still need to give it a wash, which will hopefully soften it up. So hopefully it'll drape a little bit better after that, but it might just be because I'm so hippie that the fabric's just gonna wanna open anyways, so I might have to come up with a solution to that, but that's gonna happen at a later date. For today, I'm calling it done. But overall pretty cute. I love the pattern of the fabric. The strawberries are adorable, and I really liked the curved kind of open back. The ribbon worked out pretty well for the straps. The color works perfectly with the print. Overall, it was a super cheap project. Again, the fabric cost about $5 for a yard, and then the pattern was £9, which worked out to be about $15 Canadian. So all in $20 top, so not too bad. Unfortunately, I won't be able to wear it for a little while because it is currently 9 degrees Celsius outside and raining, and I think it's supposed to be about the same for the rest of this week. So I'm gonna have to wait a little while for it to warm up outside before I can actually wear this. So if you're interested in this pattern, I will leave a link below so you can go check it out for yourself. So I do have a couple of other sewing projects lined up for future videos. So if you would like to see those, please hit the subscribe button down below so you know when those come out. I also have lots of other crafty videos on the channel, and I'll have links to those here. And I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.